Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. Right, time to lubricate the axles on this locomotive using technical petroleum jelly, which is in a little bottle that I've marked grease. So let's get going. We want to get both the wet and the dry parts of this. Here's my grease right here. So I'm getting a little bit of cardboard to not make a mess of everything. Right. Okay. So, just a second. Let's just go in here with something long. Big old brush handle here. You see, I want to have, because the oily bit tends to separate from the grease in the technical petroleum jelly, so I really want to have a good mix of the two. So I'm going to the bottom of the bottle. You can see that it's more fluid down there, and I'm scooping some out on this handle, and I'm just going to keep this here handy, and I'm going to apply it using this piece of paper. These old grotty Airfix, Humbrol Airfix brushes are always very useful. So we're just going to keep that in there like that, and hopefully this is not going to wander around and fall all over the place. That'll do very nicely. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to apply it using a piece of paper like that, and then go in between the wheels and the chassis so that we make sure this stuff then gets sucked into the axles. Because there are no axle inspection hatches cut out in the chassis in this case here. So I'm just going to go right in like that and pack my technical petroleum jelly in there. And the paper is thin enough, at least in theory, to get in there and pack it. At least this is my theory. It's very theoretical. No, not very good idea. We're going to use something completely different. And I'll have to use a very thin piece of wire. And we'll use a piece of modelling wire. What else? There we go. Here's the length of this. I have a spare bit, or a bit right in there saying, come on, use me. We'll use a bit of this here, and that'll do the job nicely. Got the little bit cuts out right in here. Right, that part there, that'll be our greasing tool. So, and I think that's definitely going to stay out as a greasing tool. We have plenty more of this stuff here. So let's put this here away where it belongs. It was easier to get into the Deichmann, sorry, not Deichmann, Deichmann's a brand of shoes, Kleinbahn, not Deichmann. Declan's a shoe shop. Okay, right, we're going to just use this here to pack the grease into the axles, onto the axles like that. Now, of course, here there's too much, because with that system it got too much grease. So we're going to actually go in here like this. It's a very tricky job, but we'll get it done. Of course I got grease all over that. Couldn't have been otherwise. Let's just take the grease directly from the top here. And I've mixed plenty. Fish some grease out of there, like that. Okay. I understand we're going to get dirty hands. Okie doke, no problem. Just going to go in there, like that. And here I can actually get in contact. I'm coming in contact with the actual axle, making sure I get plenty of enough lubricant into the axle. See this side here, how this is getting on. Here it's pushed out nicely by the springy pickup. Okay. Just scooping what I put on here. I realize I'm going to be throwing some stuff in the bin afterwards. Regarding the oil, yes, my sewing machine oil is siliconic and it's insulating. I should buy some specific locomotive oil. It's also conductive, but at the moment I've not got it, and this stuff here I usually use will do very well. Just maybe more of a footer to get it on. This is a very soft piece of wire, so it tends to bend all over the place, and so we're packing it in now, and then I'll use the bit of paper to pack it in properly. There's a wee collar on the side of the metal chassis here. Right, here on this case here now we're in the same situation. The good thing of technical petroleum jelly is that it stays put. It doesn't drain out like oil, so it has the advantage that scooping out some stuff from the bottom. There we go. That way we can actually get it out. Okay. Well, a bit of paper here to wipe my hands on. I'm going to put a spot behind the pickups as well, just like that. On the back of the wheel, not too much. We don't want to exaggerate. We know what locomotives appreciate this stuff, but not in excess. Like the Lima BR39, which doesn't mind being lubricated, but it doesn't want to be over lubricated. We'll just run that along a bit, and that will be spread. It's very smooth running now. Then we'll have to do another electrical conductivity test, which we'll do together. Okay, so that's that. I've got grease all over my hands. That's a bit of kitchen paper here, and wipe my fingers. Okay, so I've done that, and now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn this round, and I'm just going to turn my cradle around that way. I'm working on the cradle because I'm higher up. I'm going to post some even here into the central axle, but from the back. I'm doing it from the back because it's easier, and in this case here I don't need to complicate my life. I can actually use a toothpick because I've got a lot more space. And anyway, I also have to lubricate this gear with technical petroleum jelly. I'm moving that around a bit so that it spreads and it'll be sucked in by capillary effect. Let's do the same job over here. Okay, I'm just taking it and I'm running it a bit. I'm going to get an extra light to see what I'm doing. Seems okay, because it's not the Zamac that the Zamac goes through, so the axles go through the Zamac, but the axles are not in contact with the Zamac. The axles, I think, are definitely in contact. I mean, I can't dismantle this. The axles are in contact with the steel chassis plate, so that they're not in contact with the Zamac. So having applied the technical petroleum jelly to the axles, that's then being sucked in to the axle box. Okay, let's try and stick some more in. I'm just going to use this here to pack it in. So I'm turning this boy back upside down again. Righto, you stay there like that. Now I'm just going to use this here to post it in and get it into the axle boxes. Push it towards the axle there. This is very similar to what I did. I did the same job on the Kleinbahn D120. In fact, I'm going to add the video to the description box. Okay, I'm definitely coming in contact with the axle, and I'm pushing this grease in where it belongs, where I want it to be. Okay, right, now I'm going to get a cotton bud with some lighter fluids and clean away the excess. So we can see that I've wet the pickups as well, so that's good. And we still have to put a spot, add another wee bit here. Just let's get the thin wire, and I'm going to scoop some off there like that, and like that. And I'm going to stick some even in here. There. Maybe it's easier to do it from the top. Okay, let's turn this round. Excuse me, I'm shifting that out of the road. very dark and I can't see what I'm doing. Let's add a light. Hopefully this isn't going to fall over. But it's actually going in from the other side, so I think we can. Oh yes, I can see the grease glistening in there. So I did the job. Oh aye, it's alright. It's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's nice. I can see everything's nice and shiny and lubricated in there. So I think we are okay. Good to go. Give me the cradle again. Let's just take this and stick it on the cradle. Pop that there. Now you see where I might need another wee bit, but well yes, we don't need some. I need some on the gear. I'm completely, because I'll have to fit the motor afterwards, so I definitely have to put some on the gear anyway. So, but we'll actually lubricate the gear properly before putting the motor on. Anyway, I've put some. What was on this bit of wire, I've put it on the gear. Okay, right. We've done that. Let me wipe my hands again with what? Don't tell me. There's a bit of kitchen paper I had. Right here. Okay, righto. I'm going to wipe away the excess with some lighter fluid now, not to have too much grease spattered around the bottom of the locomotive. I'm going to I'm shutting up my wee jar of grease right now because we don't need that open. And we definitely don't need it greasy. Wipe that and put it away where it belongs, up there. Made a mess in here, I'll have to clean things after. So let's do a spot of, remove the excess from the chassis. We don't want too much grease lying around because grease attracts dust and lint, and then the lint and the dust will go on the, will go everywhere. Will get stuck on the wheels, because even if you're not running it on the carpet, on a carpet or on the floor, because even if, okay, carpets have got fluff, and if you run your trains on a carpet, you have to keep them keep your carpet very clean. But even if you run your trains on the floor there can be dust, there can be hair, there can be all sorts of stuff. So, but even on a layout, dust and things could gather in time, in particular if the layout has been out for a long time, like happens in my case. And I'm not really the most efficient person at dusting, I have to admit that. Me and dusting, we don't really go in the same sentence. And I'm just cleaning the part closer to the flanges because we're not going to be wanting this stuff here going, say, on the rails. I think that's nice. Okay, righto. So let's just push it along a bit and see how it feels. It feels okay, nice and smooth. So, having got so far, and just checking that we're recording no problem, okay. Having got so far, we're now going to carry out, bear with me 1 minute till I do some cleaning, because here otherwise we're gonna be getting grease everywhere, here, there and everywhere, to quote the Beatles. That's song of the Beatles, here, there and everywhere, yes it is. I began when I was a teenager, and my musical tastes began developing. Of course I started from the Beatles. It was my mother's cassette of the Beatles, and a friend of mine had lots of stuff of the Beatles, and so I was making cassettes of the Beatles. And then after I expanded, Genesis and all sorts of other stuff, and My musical tastes are very varied these days. Okay, right, hold on, let's clean this as well, because this is another mess. Everything should be degreased using some lighter fluid here, but that's clean enough. Okay, out of the road, that out of the road. It's always better to try and keep your workbench clean and tidy, said Mr. Messy. But generally, yes, I do like to work on a tidy surface. So I might not be a big I might tend to not dust very frequently, and I sort of have selective vision for cobwebs and the like. But I do like working on a clean surface. So in this case here, nobody can point fingers. Point fingers at me. Okay, need another bit of kitchen paper here. Righto, very well. So my hands are as degreased as possible. Why is there an eraser there? I was using as a wedge. Okay, let's do the... That's still greasy, that thing there. The last thing we'll do will be, when we fit the motor, we'll have to grease the gear, the main drive gear here, the gear, and then the very last thing I'll apply some sewing machine oil to the actual kingpins and to the connecting rods. Okay, right. Okay, look, let's do the electrical conductivity test now. Very important. Let's see what happens. Let's see if this has been a successful job, or if bad language is going to be required. So as we did in the previous video, here's my nice little bulb. So I remember fitting red to this is the contact comes from the pickups. Yellow will just go to the chassis, so that's the chassis that picks up from the axles. Righto. And now we'll connect our Lima track controller and see if the light bulb, which is slightly out of sight, there you go. So now I'm touching the wheels to see if this technical petroleum jelly is hindering technical conductivity from the pickups and axles to the actual motor connection. Okie doke. Fingers crossed. That's good. That's perfect. And that's perfect. Let's go over. Oops, daisy. I'm trying to pull my controller further over. That's good. And that's good. So technical petroleum jelly is great stuff. It lubricates, and it's not insulating. And it doesn't run like oil, and it doesn't gunk up like other grease. And now I've not got very high voltage on the controller. I'm turning it up to maximum. That's a 3 watt, that's a 3 volt bulb. Ooh, look at that. I've turned it up to okay. Righto. Right. So I would say that everything is okay, or pompously we can say it's all systems go. So we can actually disconnect our little tester bulb, and the next step I'll refit the motor, but that'll be in the next video. Okay, so if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, click the notification bell, share, comment, and that's it. Cheerio, and see you next time.